Hello, beautiful people. I'm Vlad from Synaptic Schism, and today I want to show you how Disturbed was written. So I will tell you just the overall gist of each of the parts for you to have a better understanding, and also what are the instruments, libraries, and so on that were used. If any of these parts in particular are interesting to you, let me know in the comments, and I can do like a deeper dive in the instruments and so on. Okay, so let's start. Let's just listen to the intro. So this is already part A in a way. Okay, although this is intro and a little bit of part one, the things that are present here are these rhythm guitars. So I'll just solo because these will pop up a little bit later on. I'll discuss them in part A1, the second part of A1, because there's a little bit of detail. Let's go into more on the bottom of this. So this whole pink region here are sound effects that I have from a number of packs that I purchased over time. I can show you what those packs are. So these are the packs that I use. I don't go specifically to a pack. Usually what I do is I search for the thing that I want and then drag and drop it. But these are the packs that I use. If you have interest in any of this stuff, or if you have interest in how to use sound effects for pre-production, let me know. This is definitely something that I want to dive to, but it's not like very high in priority. Now over this, there's this part. This is the instrument that I use for underscores. It's Element Kepler from 0G. I love it. I love underscores, and I was looking for instruments to do this. The one that I really wanted was very expensive. Kepler was a lot cheaper, and it's so good. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's brilliant to do underscores. There's more underscore stuff here later on that I'll talk about. So on top of this, the used a little bit as an effect, but also as a melodic instrument. So very low. Did you listen to that? So these two instruments are overlaid on top of each other. They are playing exactly the same thing. Both of them are serum banks, and they are from serum banks that I purchased over time specifically for metal. Again, if you want me to show this stuff in a specific video, let me know, and I can show you. Although I'll be the first to admit that this is the first time that I'm using synths with the objective of using synths, so it's a little bit early for me to really know what I'm talking about, but I'll do my best. On top of this, I have things like this clap, these metals, and hybrid percussion. All of these are like waves and loops that I use. The big thing that I use here, it's Ferrum free. This is a free contact library. It has a ton of percussion instruments, mostly for trailer music, and it has a cool thing which allows us to put each individual instrument in a different space. So you can have a ton of stuff done percussion-wise with just one instrument and just one track. On these metals. It's just cool. I really love this instrument. So the intro and all these A part and also the B part, all of this is written in E Phrygian. It's one of those evil, very, very evil scales for metal. So all of this stuff is written in E Phrygian. And now when we go like to the proper track, let's say, after the intro, what we get is the band strings. These are just gorgeous. So these are from Audio Imperia. These are Araya strings, and I've done some stuff to make them fit with the rest of the metal band, let's say. Again, let me know if you want me to go through this, but this is not the normal positioning of strings in an orchestra, and I have these banks prepared on purpose to do this, and they are just awesome. I want also to go through the rhythm guitars here. So there are two instruments here, Ex Machina and Odin 3. Both of them are double-tracked and sending direct input signals to Runeforge Fenrir. So this is the amp sim that I'm using to have the sound of this. So let's listen to the guitars a little bit. So what I did here was I have Ex Machina with a power chord bank and Odin 3 with just the normal palm mute stuff going on. This was before Odin 3.1 patch. Right now, I would probably at least try to only have Odin here. Now, for the drums, I have Cream drums. Obviously, that's the drums that I use. And all the basses that I use are from Submission Audio. This is Nocturnal Bass. And with the guitars, it sounds like this. Pretty cool stuff, just for you to have an idea of this. Now, with all of this playing, I also have these pieces of percussion here. And these are playing when... Let me show you this. So I have the percussion working with the drums. You check just the china and the percussion. Cool, huh? So the two of them are working together. I also placed the crashes specifically on the right side in the drum kit. So when it's hitting, it's like china, percussion. Then when I do crash, it's also the crashes on the right side. It's just to give that balance and that rhythm, which goes really nice. And obviously, the start of the show are the leads. You can see, I'm going to open all of this stuff. You can see that I broke the leads by Kyohime. He co-wrote the track with me. So all of these are leads. And this was broken up so that although the amp sim is always the same, it has different configurations. So if you check here in the main lead, I do have the Petrucci with a Dream lead. And then if I go to this Mono B, check, I also have the Petrucci with the Dream lead also, but then I have different things for how the delays are working and so on. So all of this was broken so that it would fit each part of the song. It was a brilliant work by Kyohime. I really love these leads. I think the leads, I'll show you. I'll put this here. And now I'm going to play with the leads soloed. I mean, it's cool, I like it, but now with the leads. the leads do their thing. I think that all of the track is a lot better with those leads on top of it. It's really cool, and I broke it up in many different pieces so that with the amp sims and like different little things, I could have automated all of those things, but it's way too much work. It's preferable just to have like everything separated. It's a lot easier to work with. Now, if we go to B1, it's a more proggy section, but in the end, it's more or less the same thing. It has a little bit less strings. The lead guitar is quite a little bit more screechy, so let's just listen to it. Okay, so it's basically two parts. The first one is 7/8, and then the second one, it's weird because it's like 2 7/8 plus 1 2 8. That's where I get this 16/8 here. I could have broken down each one of them, but it's way too much work. I just wanted to know that I was still in the 7/8 plus 7/8 plus 2 8. That's why I added that here and then went again to 4/4. There's also one more element, again coming from my newfound love for synths, which is this thing. If you listen to this in the context of the rest of the track, it sounds like this. Can you hear it in the background? So all of this wall of sound is contributing to how all of this is arranged. This is again a serum bank, specifically for Argent Metal, I believe, something like that. But yeah, the name is Doomlead. It should tell you something. And with this, as with the rest of the song, a ton of sound effects in the background, just adding to all of that experiment. Then we go into A2. A2 is, for the most part, a repetition of A1. The synth, the serum preset continues moving forward. So you can have this in the background, which is in fact playing what the underscore was playing initially. I tried to do this to always keep some familiarity with what was done. All of this up to this C section here is E Phrygian, as I mentioned earlier, but now it gets to E Persian, and that's where we get this exotic kind of sound, and we get these guitars. So let's listen, and then I'll break it down. A really beautiful part. All of this is in E Persian, so we have these guitars. This is again Odin 3 with Archetype Petrucci. Love these guitars. Again, we have Nocturnal Bass popping up later on. This is one of the things that I really like about Nocturnal. The slap from this instrument is just awesome. So listen to this with the drums and that guitar. It's just beautiful. And then there's one more element here, which is a underscore also. This is Angel Kits. This is from Audio Imperia also. I love Audio Imperia stuff. It's so good. and it just adds this. I'm pretty sure that if I don't tell anyone, no one notices that it's here. But I'll play it. I'm going to play this section without it, and then I'm going to add. But it just feels that whole. I just love underscores. Underscores are so cool. They just give this layer to it. And also in here, it's the single most complex part of the lead guitars. These are 4 parts, but actually they are in only 3 different things. But these are 4 different lead parts that kind of interconnect with each other. Now for this section, this is the weird part. Okay, so this C section is a completely different musical part. This is a 12-tone row. Again, if you want to know stuff about this, let me know. This is really cool. Basically, it's to have all the 12 notes arranged in a way that they are never repeated in those 12 steps. Okay, and then I just have everyone playing the same thing at the same time with this frantic kind of rhythm, and it appears not to be 4/4, but in fact it is. So it's really nice, and I achieved this by extending one of the notes. So. So that's just trickery to elude the brains. Then we have the A part again. Finally, we have the outro, and the outro, basically, I always play with this idea of familiarity, and I return to the beginning. I have things that didn't appear since the beginning, like these claps here. I have all of the things disappearing that were introduced over time, like the guitars, the bass. All of those things disappear and just leave again the underscore playing on its own until it fades out. And yeah, this is how this start was constructed. This is the mix, but the idea here is to share with everyone how this song was built. There's a lot to be told regarding effects and all of that stuff. If there's any information that you wish to have regarding each one of these instruments, how these things were written, I don't know, music theory behind it and so on, how it was mixed, whatever it is that you feel that it's interesting to discuss. So for instance, these strings here, these are special. Just let me know and I'll work it out a way of showing everything to everyone. So I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next video, bye bye.